Okay, so we are continuing in The King of the Emperor, and so this story, the story of the King of the Emperor, this is a story of our search in our lives to be connected with the Torah. This is a story about the neshama of the Torah, a story of the daughter of the emperor and the son of the king. And there are trials and tribulations of coming together to have a true zivug, of having a true unity. And the story of Rabbi Nachman is coming to give us advice, is helping to help us, to give us direction. Oh, you are so lucky we started extremely late. We just started literally a second ago.
Oh, so happy.
Hashem loves you. So wow. So this is the story. This is the story of how to search for the Torah, how our souls are yearning for the Torah, and Shalom. Welcome. What's your name? Mazal, nice to meet you. So this is the story of how our soul is yearning and searching to become one with the Torah, and the Torah is yearning to become one with us. Okay, this is the zivug. This is the zivug that we're talking about, and that this story is all about. Okay, our search for the Torah, our search for a relationship with the Torah, and that is eventually going to be the way that the Torah is going to, the way that the story is going to play out. That this love story between us and the Torah. So we learned last week how the first time that the soul and the Torah came together was actually when they were in cheder together, when they were in school together, and we said that this is a reference to the first time that the soul met the Torah, and that is in the womb. Okay? The Gemara says in Nida that every soul, when they are in their mother's womb, so there's an angel that comes and teaches them the entire Torah. Okay? So we have this innate connection to the Torah that we're labayut, that we're connecting to for 9 months, and then after that 9 months, so then the angel, so it hits us on our mouth, and we forget everything. Okay, but even though we forget everything, but there's something that remains. Okay, there's this residue. There's this echo of that, and that's why that our connection with truth is never that we never discover truth, but we reveal truth. Okay, that truth is something is never going to be something that we come out with something brand new. That when we hear a truth, then it resonates with us, and it sounds, yes, that's just right. I knew that. That sounds like something that I even before you said it, that was what I was going to say, but I had no idea that that's what I was going to say. And it's reminding us of something that was already within our consciousness. It's just that we needed somebody to remind us of it. Okay, and this is every truth, everything that's real, everything that's real. So it's something that it feels like we already knew it. It's just like, yeah, like of course, right? Like when you hear something very, very profound, when you hear like that somebody tells you that I want you to know that there's a theory of relativity. So like you don't say, oh yeah, of course. Like how didn't I think of that? Like how? Yeah, theory of relativity says that like everybody experiences time in a different way, and like if you would really be moving at the speed of light, so time wouldn't pass. So like, well, here's something new, so we say like, are you sure? Right? When somebody says that, you know, you have to like you have to love yourself before you can love somebody else. So you don't say, what, are you sure? Say, Yeah, whoa, that's so obvious. Like, how could I not think of that? By the way, I just heard something so amazing, that the 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 first time it says in the Torah that somebody loved somebody, the first time, so was that it says that Hashem tells to Abraham that by Akedas Yitzchak that Kachna es Pinchas echitcha asher ahavta, that take the son that you love. Okay, that the first time it says in the Torah that somebody loved somebody was that Abraham loved Yitzchak. The second time it says in the Torah that somebody loved somebody was that after Abraham brought Rivka to be Yitzchak's wife. So it says that Vayaveh Yitzchak es Rivka ha'ala Vayahaveh, that he loved her. Okay, so the first time that anybody loved anybody was that Abraham loved Yitzchak, and the second time that anybody loved anybody was that Yitzchak loved Rivka. Because if you were loved, then you have the capability of loving. Okay? The third time it says that somebody loved somebody, so it says that Yitzchak, that Rivka loved Yaakov, because she was loved, so she was able to give love. Right? So, like, the Torah is telling us that the way that you're able to give love is by being loved. Is that if you feel that you are loved, so then you're able to give love to somebody else. Okay? So then I was thinking, why was like, so how did Abraham love Yitzchak? How did Abraham love Yitzchak? Like, who loved Abraham? His father did not love him. His father did not love him. Maybe Sarah. Maybe Sarah loved him. But I think the real answer is that it says in the Navi that Hashem calls Abraham Ohavi. Abraham, he's the one person in Tanakh that Hashem calls Abraham Ohavi, the one that I love. Okay? He loves all of us, but the one that he says specifically is that he loves Abraham. So Abraham felt so loved by Hashem that he was able to give it over to everybody around him. Yeah, that was the. So I bless us all that we should all feel so much love from Hashem that we should just be showering everybody around us with that love. So, so the first time that we're meeting the Torah. So this is in the womb, and we have this relationship that's with the Torah that it's forgotten, and they have this ring. They have this ring, and we said that this ring represents the Keser Torah. The Keser Torah is there's something about the Torah that I feel connected to the Torah, even without the knowledge of the Torah. Even though everything intellectual, it all escaped me, but there was something left. There's something left that I'm still. It just feels right. There's something that just still feels right. That's the ring. That's the ring that he being the Torah put on her hand. And that's what happened. So then the story goes on. The story goes on that they forgot about this pact. They forgot about the fact that they were planning on getting married, and they were depressed and they were pining and whatever. And then the king's father remembers that yes, oh right, like I made a promise to the emperor that when we have children, we're going to marry our children together, and the emperor no longer wanted. The emperor no longer wanted this marriage, and he was like trying to prove to him that it's not a good idea. And so we explained last week that this is the representing that the Ein Sof, Hashem in his infinite reality. So he's thinking to himself that it doesn't really make sense. Can the Torah really direct a person? Does it really make sense that the Torah is going to be able to control a person? The Torah is going to be able to help us to be our zivug, to be the one that's going to allow us to be our fullest. Now this is our father, talking, that like, my daughter, like, she's so good, like, I don't think you're good enough for her. He's saying this to the Torah. He's saying, like, Mr. Torah, like, you're a sweet boy and all, but like, sorry, like, my daughter, she's a different league. Are you, like, what are you going to give her? You're going to tell her that you should, like, blow a shofar and then you're in spiritual bliss. You're going to tell her that you should keep kosher, and then you're going to be in spiritual bliss. Like, my daughter, you have no idea how holy she is. She's the holiest. She's a neshama elokit. She's a divine soul. Like, you really think that your Torah is gonna be exactly what she's looking for? And so this is something that, so originally that the emperor himself, the Ein Sof himself, he was the one who thought this was a good idea, right? Just when it comes more practical, when push comes to shove, when, like, we're ready to be born into this world, so then suddenly he's aware of how crazy it is to be out in this physical world, and all of the trials and tribulations, and all of the struggles, and all of the tests, and all of like the distractions, and suddenly he seems to think, like, whoa, maybe not, maybe Torah is too confining. It's too confining. I remember years ago, I met this crazy Israeli that he was telling me that like man, you're so not with it. Your Shabbat is like, it's all full of these of these confinements, of all this stuff you can't do. Like, that's you're living in you've clearly, if you want to keep Shabbat, you've clearly eaten from the tree of knowledge. I, my friend, have eaten from the tree of life. The craziest part is how serious he was. Like, I was sure, he was not on a trip. He was not drunk. He was dead serious, like, tragically. Like, he really thought that if you want to really connect with God, so don't let anybody tell you any rules. Like, God equals no rules, right? And like, he was like, and this is like, here in Nachlaot we know these people. There's that if it's like that, like, I'm good. Keep on singing. and so and it's mamish tragic. And like, these people, like, they think that they're getting their soul to someplace, and they're just like, 40 years later they're still single, among other things, unemployed. And,
It's true.
yeah, and so the deepest truth, like the truest truth that he knew before, we knew that when he saw things, like, from the top, from the bird's eye view. So then he knew that the Torah is exactly what this infinite neshama needs. Okay, and it could be that it doesn't make sense. It could be that it could be taken as a certain confinement to this holy neshama, because yeah, if you know how holy a neshama is, then it actually doesn't make any sense that this is the way of life, that this is the one person that I'm going to marry, that this is my one job, that they're like, I'm an infinite being. How can you confine me? Okay, but in his infinite wisdom, he knew before the even conception. So he knew that, as crazy as it is to just like pin yourself down to one person and to one job and to one mission, but that one mission, that's actually what brings you fulfillment. Okay, and this is these people that, like, they're living in a world of Ein Sof. They're living in a world of infinite possibilities. So this is precisely the difference between potential and actual, and that in potential, so then everything is infinite, and you can't actually do everything. You can have the potential to do everything, but you can't actually do everything. And if you're going to live in the world of potential, then you're going to be a nothing. You're going to be nothing. And Hashem, in His desire to have children, so this is like that we started this is the fourth class. That this is like in the very first class, in the second class, we talk about this desire to have children, this desire that the emperor and the king. So they had a deep, deep desire to have children. So part of this desire to have children is that I'm going to do something with my life. I'm going to have something to say for myself, that something to write on my tombstone, that he was like besides just he was like a really, really cool person, that to actually have something to say for yourself, to actually do something, to actually bring something into the world, to create, to accomplish. And once you're doing that, it requires confining yourself. It requires being a little bit not infinite. Okay, that's why he's, even though he's infinite, but his daughter is going to be very finite, and yet she's still the daughter of the emperor. She's still a neshama elokis. She's still a chelek elokah mimah mamish. She's still something divine. Okay, and that's why this is like this dance that this whole story is revolving around this friction between the fact that the neshama is infinite, the neshama is actually divine, and something divine is actually like you can't tell it what to do at all. And yet that it needs to do something. It needs to be real, and it needs to be part of an actual reality. Okay, so this is the problem that the emperor. So he seemed to have cold feet. And he, like, when he saw the Torah, he said maybe you're not the right idea, and so they realized that the father doesn't want, and so this is such an amazing part of the story. So he saw her, and he fainted, and he asked her, what should we do? That your father doesn't want the match. She said, even so. Even so. So afterwards they came upon the idea that they should sail out to the sea. They hired a ship and sailed. Okay, so now the daughter of the emperor and the son of the king, they're eloping off to the sea, private yacht, and they're eloping against the will of the emperor, against the will of the Ein Sof. Okay, so this is like already over here. This is going to be a recurring theme in the story, that sometimes so Hashem wants us to do what we know is the right thing, even though it's not what He says. Okay, that sounds like a crazy thing. It sounds like a permission to not be religious, and the truth is that the Rabbi Nachman, like there were secrets that he wanted to share with the world, that they were so deep that he couldn't express them openly, and the only way for him to express these secrets was actually just through hints, through like in guise of a story, and so there's a fascinating Gemara. It says that there were four people that entered the garden. Arba nichnasu lepartis. There's four people that entered the world of mysticism. Okay, the partis is a reference to the world of Kabbalah, the world of the secrets of the Torah. And so there was Rebbe Kiva, there was Ben Azai, there was Acher, and who was the fourth?
And one of them became crazy.
Right? So it says that Acher became a heretic. One of them became crazy. One of them died. And Rebbe Kiva, nichnas b'shalom v'yatza b'shalom. He entered in peace and he exited in peace. Meaning that nothing happened to him. Meaning it doesn't say that he became the greatest, the biggest Kabbalist. It doesn't say that he reached higher spiritual realms. It doesn't say he didn't bring Mashiach. He didn't help people do miracles. He didn't die or go crazy or became a heretic, right? So and for some reason, when everybody reads this, we see that 3 out of 4 people, so something horrible happened to them, and the one person that something horrible didn't happen to them. So what happened? That's what happened. That something horrible didn't happen to him. Okay? And yet, when we read this, we say, "Oh my gosh, I need to learn Kabbalah." I need to we have this. It sounds like, whoa, that's the cool stuff. That's the stuff that if you're Russian roulette, So after he became a heretic, there was a heavenly voice that came out, and it says Shuvu banim shevavim chutz mi'acher. Shuvu banim shevavim, that all of you rebellious children, you should all do tshuva. Hashem is calling out to all of his naughty children that are making mistakes here and there, and it says, Kindalach, I love you, just do tshuva. Except for Acher. That's Elisha ben Nevuah. Okay? Except Elisha ben Nevuah, you're just stay away. I just don't like you. You
don't like me?
I love you. And so he says that everybody do tshuva except for Acher. And so all of the commentaries explain that what was up with this, that Acher messed up so badly. He messed up so badly that the only way for him to do tshuva is that he even messed up. He even burned his bridges. He burned his bridges, and it was really, really difficult. Really difficult for. So he burned so many bridges. He burned his connection to God such a deep level that the only way for him to do tshuva was that even though he heard that the heavenly voice was telling him that that's it, you're a goner, you're finished. The only way for him to do tshuva was for him to hear this and say, I don't care. I'm not taking no for an answer. I need to be close to Hashem. I don't care if he doesn't want me. And if he would have been so, I just heard there was a Farbrengen for the Balatanya Ziertzeit, and the mashpia that was saying he said, who do you say this from? That some Rebbe, maybe that Tzemach Tzedek said this, that three things about a chassid. 3 things about a chassid. One of them is that three characteristics that you can identify. 3 identifying characteristics of a chassid. One is that he has chutzpah. Mm-hmm. Second is that he can drink, and the third is that he learns chassidus. That he learns chassidus. Right? If you just have chutzpah and you drink, and you don't learn chassidus, then you're also not a chassid. Mm-hmm. Okay? But what do you mean? What do you mean to have chutzpah? What do you mean to have chutzpah? So the mashpia was saying for a 20-year-old to walk over to a 60-year-old and say, hey, do you want to put on tefillin? That's chutzpah. Who you're like a little pisher. When you have a third of the life experience that I have, so then you can give me advice, right? Mm-hmm. But the chutzpah of chesed is that I know, it's true that you could be my grandfather, but I know that you really want to put on film, and that's an awesome chutzpah. So this is this chutzpah that we this is a holy chutzpah that was the only way that Acher could have done tshuva. That when God Himself tells you that just get out of here, I never want to see you again. So to come back to come back and say that no, I have to be here. There's one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite stories is the story of the Simcha Buddha Mepsishchem, that he had this. No, I'm sorry. It's with the Chazon Lublin. With Chazon Lublin, that there was this chassid that he wanted to be by Rosh Hashanah, by the Rebbe, by the Chazon, and he came to the Rebbe right before Rosh Hashanah. Right before Rosh Hashanah, he was traveling for a week, and he came to him, and as soon as he came off, when he gave shalom, so he says, get away from me, go home, I don't want you here. And it was so strange. Like he was every year, like he was such a beloved chassid of the chassid, and like suddenly like the Rebbe doesn't like him. Suddenly like it was really weird. But he was like so like the Rebbe said like, what Rebbe? I said I don't want you here. Go home. And he was like broken, and so he started going home, so he stayed like he was traveling for the whole day, and then at the end of the day, so he was staying in some inn, and so he saw who's staying at the inn, so Hasidim, and the Hasidim of the Chazon, and so they're all celebrating, they're all excited, they're going to the Rebbe. You know, if anybody's ever seen videos of like people going on the way to Uman Rosh Hashanah, so like you can imagine like how exciting it is to be on the way to the Rebbe. So they're all celebrating, they're all excited, and they say, no, come on, we're going to join us, and so like he said, no, it's okay, no, we're not asking you. They drag him into the dancing, and they start dancing and start being happy, and they say that where are you off to? So he says, I'm going home. So where are you off to? I said, we're going to the Chazon Lublin. Why didn't you come with us? I said, no, I can't come with you. I can't come with you. He said, no, what do you mean can't come with us? It's amazing. It's amazing by the Rebbe. Tell me about it. So it was the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. I was by the Rebbe. I would come from the Rebbe, and the Rebbe he told me that like he doesn't want me. He doesn't like me. That I should go home. And so they said, oh, come on. They're like the Rebbe. You don't have to listen to everything he says. L'chaim, and they give him a l'chaim, like after enough l'chaims. So like he's like into this dancing, he's into the happiness, and like the whole night they're saying they're like giving him l'chaims, and so it's time to go, it's time to move on, and they said, no, I can't. I say, no, you're coming with us. You're coming with us. This is like the Rebbe didn't mean it. The Rebbe didn't mean it. You don't. And so he comes with him, and gets out of the wagon, and he's like terrified. Like the Rebbe just told me he never wants to stay. I should have to go home, and like I didn't listen to him. He gets out the wagon, and the Chazon has the biggest smile in the world. And he says, I'm so happy that you're here. And let me explain what happened. Let me explain my behavior with you. That when you came, I saw that the angel of death is like on your back. And I saw that your days are very numbered, and if you were going to stay with me, then you wouldn't be able to say goodbye to your family. So I wanted you to be able to spend Yom Tov with your family. This is going to be your last Rosh Hashanah of your life. I wanted you to be able to be around the people that love you, the people that you love, but then you met my Hasidim. But then you met my Hasidim, and apparently they wished you l'chaim. So every time that my Hasidim told you l'chaim, so the angel of death, so he distanced himself, so he ran away another mile. And he finished the story by saying that I want you to know with friends like that, you can live forever. So this is so anyway, my point was this is holy chutzpah. Holy chutzpah, the holy
It
what?
makes sense. The Malach HaMavet is there. They say Lechaim. Oh no.
No, it doesn't.
They
It
just
doesn't.
push him
Yeah, it has to be a real
If
l'chaim.
it's a real
It has to be an emes l'chaim. It has to be a
But the
l'chaim.
Hasidim were like
They
real Lechaim.
They knew how to do real l'chaims, because the chayzim l'blin told them how to do l'chaims.
That what it means.
It's
he
number
he
two
needs
on
to
the list
know
of
how
what
to
you
drink.
need.
It's not that
Right.
the more you put in.
Yes,
it
yeah.
must be rich.
L'chaim.
Do we have anything on?
So this is the holy chutzpah. This is the holy chutzpah that even though the emperor didn't want, the emperor thought that this was a bad idea, right? But he wants us to say that no, this is what I need. This is what my soul is really yearning for, and it doesn't matter that the emperor, in his infinite wisdom, says it's not a good idea. We're just learning this morning. We're learning Bereshis. So so it says that after Hashem does the whole creation, so after he creates Adam, so it says V'yar Elokim es kol asher asa v'hinei tov ma'od. Hinei tov ma'od. So this is the first time. The first time it says in the Torah tov ma'od. Very good. It says many times. On many of the days it says that V'yar Elokim es ha'or ki tov. He saw that the light was good, and it says that he saw that after he made the dry land, and it says V'yar Elokim ki tov. It says over and over again. It says V'yar Elokim ki tov. But this is the first time it says tov ma'od. Very good. Very good. So what's the difference? What's the difference between good and very good? What is this very good? So what's unique about man? What's unique about man is that man has. I mean, birds also have brains. They have bird brains, but they also have brains. But what's unique about man is that we can make decisions. We have free will. Okay, we have free will. So everything else in creation is V'yar Elokim ki tov. What's it mean to be good? What it means to be good is to be in sync with Hashem. Is that Hashem says jump, you say how high? Okay, that's tov. Okay, so everything in creation, all the angels and all the birds and all the fish, so they all listen to Hashem. They all listen to Hashem. But man is the first one that has his own opinions. Okay, this is that we also have something to say. We also have something to say. And that's tov ma'od. That's tov ma'od. Tov ma'od is that we say something to Hashem, that like Hashem, this is the idea of mitzvot rabbanan, of all the rabbinic mitzvahs. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. Like this is like something like I'm just telling you just in a nutshell, but it's a crazy thing that some of the most critical parts of Judaism, like davening is it's only a rabbinic mitzvah. How could it be that such a critical thing in Judaism is only rabbinic? So the thing is that there's some things that are so deep that it needs to come from us. That in order to cultivate our relationship with Hashem, so He wants our relationship to be so real that we're not just listening to instructions, that we also have something to say. Okay, if you're going to tell your husband that it's my birthday coming up, so this is the flower store that I want you to buy. I want you to buy 3 tulips and 5 roses, and this is the poem that I want you to write. First, this is the stationery that I want you to buy, and this is the poem that I want you to write, and like this is you know what? I'll type it for you. I don't. And so like that's so unromantic, right? There's not like if it's all coming from you, then there's no relationship. So that in order for a relationship to be real, it needs to be 2 ways. It needs to be that I hear what you have to say. That I want you to put something into this relationship, And that's where our free will comes in. That's where that human beings have the ability to do something that Hashem didn't say. And Hashem says, yeah, I like that, yeah. Good for you. And this is, and sometimes sometimes it's going against Hashem. Sometimes it's going against Hashem. The first case of this, the case where this is like black and white, where this is like clear, is that it says that after the story of the golden calf, so Moshe Rabbeinu, so he took these amazing tablets that Hashem gave him, and Hashem told him to give these to the Jewish people, and what did Moshe do? He broke them.
They couldn't take it.
Can you? No.
I mean, they
Moshe-
probably were.
Moshe worked out.
Also, I don't think there were artifacts that anybody could have just broken.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do, just like he was a conduit to make them, he had to do something incredible to be able to break
Mhm.
such a thing.
Absolutely.
And because they
He didn't make them. The first ones Hashem make. The first ones Hashem make.
conduits to make them.
Right.
But he prepared them.
That's the second time.
Oh, that's the second.
That's the second time. The first time is all from Hashem.
Oh, okay.
The first thing is all from Hashem, and this Hashem said that this is what I want, and Moshe, of his own volition, this is that he decided, I'm going to break these divine tablets, these miraculous tablets made of sapphires. They were pretty, like, they were amazing. There was the Michtav Elokim. It was the writing, the handwriting of God, and he broke them. Why did he break them? Because he understood that this is going to be bad for the relationship. Okay, and Hashem says, you know, Yashakoach Shashibata. Asher Shibata, Yashakoach Shashibata. That was a good thing. I didn't tell you to break it. And can you imagine somebody says that like this is the biggest diamond in the entire world. Do me a favor and please give this to my fiance, and tell her it's for me. And you think to yourself, you know, I think I don't think she's ready. I don't think she's ready for this. You just break the greatest diamond that exists in the world. Because you don't think that this is a good. Well, I didn't ask you, you know. and Hashem says, thank you. That was a great idea. That was a great idea that you broke the greatest diamond ring that ever existed. That was a great idea. So this is what's amazing about our having free will. This is what's amazing. So this is Tov Ma'od. Tov Ma'od is listening to Hashem, and Tov Ma'od is recognizing that when we put our own 2 cents into the relationship, so even though it's sometimes going to go against what Hashem's better judgment, but we actually know better. Okay, we actually know like the best way to navigate in our relationship with Hashem, and that's actually awesome. That's great. Okay, that's Tov Ma'od. Okay, so this is the first. This is what's happening over here. That the father says, that the emperor says that he doesn't want. The emperor says that this is a bad idea, and he says, no, we're gonna elope. We're gonna go out, and we're gonna make this work. And this is obviously what he wants. It's obviously what he wants. Okay, so they go out to the sea. So the sea, just by means of introduction, there's going to be a recurring theme in the rest of the story, that the relationship with the sea. And so it's important to understand that when we're talking about the sea, the word for sea in Hebrew is yam. Okay, yam liyam.
Yeah.
So yam is in the gematria is 50. We spoke about this already? I don't know. I think it could be we spoke about this already. Okay. So yeah, you have to catch up. You know I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Break the fourth
Did you
wall.
did you subscribe?
Camera.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a YouTube channel.
Oh, you thought I was asking you if you've heard of YouTube? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also like,
What?
they also like the video.
No, she didn't even. Okay, also like the video and also subscribe. So it's good.
Look straight into the camera, Rabbi.
Yes.
Break the fourth wall.
It's like
Yes,
coming,
job.
you guys do.
It's like
Yeah.
coming in the middle of a movie, and then you have to watch the beginning, and then it makes sense.
Okay. So actually not. Actually, I pride myself that you can come into my class in the middle of in the 13th part of a series, in the last 5 minutes of class, and you'll still understand. Okay? Mm.
Are you still a teacher in Neve also?
Sorry?
You're still a teacher in Neve?
Uh huh.
I remember 4 years ago.
Nice. Okay. I remember you too.
Yeah?
You look familiar from somewhere, to be honest. I thought I knew you from Nachlaot, but okay. So, so what is the yam? So yam is the number. The gematria of yam is 50, and 50 represents the beyond. 50 represents the beyond, the beyond.
And the beyond.
The beyond. So why is 50 the beyond? Because it's more than
The
49,
49.
right? Because the physical world is 7, and if you want to really analyze the physical world, so you'll notice that really every part of the physical world each also has 7 parts. So then there's 7 times 7, okay, and that's the complete understanding of the physical reality is 7 times 7 is 49, and 50, the Shar Hanun, the 50th gate. The 50th gate is the gate that can't be quantified, the gate that can't be measured, that can't be comprehended, and this is the gate to the beyond. Okay, that's what Yam represents, and the ocean represents this. When Chazal speak about the ocean, it's the Mayim she'en lahem sof. That's how they call the ocean. Mayim she'en lahem sof. The waters that have no end. Okay, so. And the truth is, it's even true on a certain level that because all of the oceans are actually connected, so really you could go in the ocean just and keep on moving forever and ever and ever. It's actually in the himself. But I think just it's a metaphor for the infinite. When you go out when you're in the middle of the ocean, it's you look around and everything you see is water. So you feel like that this is infinite. Okay, so the ocean represents infinity, and this is the world of the beyond. This is the world of the infinite, and and she knows that this is where she's going to meet the Torah. This is where her zivug. This is the venue for her marriage is going to be on the sea. Okay, not at the beach, in the ocean.
Who's this?
In the ocean. This is the daughter of the emperor. This is the neshama. The neshama knows that the only way that she's going to have a proper wedding is to live in the ocean. I stood and I was living in Jaffa, and she's living on a boat. What? Oh right, eventually, yeah. Yeah, so so that's this is so the time we're going to talk about is it does Hashem want us to live on the sea? Does Hashem want us to live on the sea, or does Hashem want us to live on earth? Okay, so this is so they need to get married. They need to get married in the sea. The only place that they can get married is on the sea. Okay, so if you're planning your wedding, so you might want to consider getting married on a yacht in the ocean.
Wow.
No, Yam Suf is not the ocean.
No.
Oh, but it's a yam. It's a yam. It's still a yam. Okay, it's good enough.
Connected.
No, but I just
Yeah.
mean the
metaphor kind of extends. It's like if we're talking about the neshama and Torah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, well, got really only married after Yom Suf, and like in the desert.
Oh, that's what you mean. I'll think about that. I don't think that's what he's saying.
Probably
But,
isn't, but just like I don't know, an interesting other perspective.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're going off to the sea. Okay, they're going off to the sea. Okay, so they continued to sail, and eventually they wanted to come to the shore. Okay, why did they want to come to the shore? What was wrong? What's wrong with living on the sea? Because you eventually get seasick, right? Eventually, when you're living on the sea too much, so like it's not the sea actually wasn't made for living forever. Like people just need to feel the earth under their feet, and yeah, there's some song about feeling the earth move under your feet. Why would you want to feel the earth move? No, I want to feel the earth not move under my feet. That's what I want to feel.
I'm quoting Carole King right now. That was just not what I was expecting to happen.
So there's something very special about feeling grounded, about feeling that I'm not going to sink, I'm not going to float away. And so after being in Floatyville, Nachlot, after floating for too long, so then you just need to get to shore. Just need to get to shore. I heard about this philosopher that he writes in his memoirs that he would sometimes think about these lofty ideas that he would feel like he's losing his mind. He would feel like he's losing his mind from the lofty things that he's thinking about, and he's gonna have he feels like he's gonna have a mental breakdown, and so he writes that I would force myself to have a coffee, and I would just take the cup and drink the coffee, and I would feel the cup and taste the coffee, and I would think to myself, yeah, I'm here, it's like
Be grounding.
to be grounding, yeah.
Also,
Right.
he used to thread a piece of string between his fingers with his swimming shirt, thread, and playing with
Oh, wow.
this.
Wow, cool.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So all kinds of tricks like that.
Mhm.
I learned once so this explained the
Yeah. Sometimes a person gets all different kinds of everybody knows that, but a person who's having a panic attack. So the first thing that they tell you to do is look for 5 blue things in the room, right? And just think that just ground yourself. Have something that you can grasp onto, because if you're just in the floating world, then you can just float away. Okay, and when you feel like I'm starting to lose it, so then the way to save yourself is to just be secure, to come back to shore. Okay, to force yourself back to shore.
Why is everything written in the metaphor?
What?
Why is everything written in the metaphor?
Oh, the whole story? Okay, that's a more general question. I think we have really hinted to this at the beginning, but that Rabbi Nachman wants us to connect to a story, because a story is a way of really connecting to an idea emotionally. Okay, if he would just come and just lecture, so then it would be talking to our brains, but when he tells us a story, so then he's talking to our hearts. Okay, that's why his most important Torahs he's giving over in the form of stories. Okay, so eventually they wanted to come to shore. They reached the shore, and there was a forest, and they entered it. Okay, why did they go to the forest? Why did they go to the forest?
to not see human faces and to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
to ground yourself.
to ground yourself? When you want to be when you want to ground yourself, you go to a forest.
Yeah, to be in touch with nature and the soil, the ground.
Mm-hmm. What do you like about that? What?
I want to hug a tree.
They just want
Mhm.
to
It's
smile.
just
There is something that the mind does.
Trees have healing powers, Rabbi. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So it's solitude.
Uh-huh.
They
So
will-
I think that they were going like they were going gradually. I think that the forest. Rabbi Nachman loves the forest. Rabbi Nachman would love to. He also loved the sea. He also loved the sea. It says in his biography that when he was a child, so when he would practice hitbodedut. So what he would do was that he had this sailing ship.
Mhm.
No, I'm sorry, sailing boat. Sailing
Sailing boat. Yeah.
sailing boat. Had a
A sailboat.
Sailboat. That's it. Yes. Thank you. He had a sailboat. And he would sail to the middle of this huge lake, and he didn't really know how to sail, so he would be be completely like just stuck in the middle of the lake,
That's kind of the point.
and then from the middle of the lake, like he felt so alone and so detached from civilization because he didn't even know how to get back, and then like from there he would have like his deepest hitbodeduts, his deepest conversations with God. Like nobody, like he's like a mile away from shore, and like nobody can hear him if he screams.
He would get
And
lost
then-
on purpose.
And
He
yeah,
was 2 years old at this point.
no, and
Feels like something.
and then miraculously he was able to Hashem helped him, saved him. He was able to get back every time. I don't know how he did it.
Sooner or later you
But-
will get back.
But then when he got older, so then he stopped with these crazy going to the middle of the lake. But then he would go to the forest. They would go to the forest, and he told all of his students, all of his chassidim, that the best place to do hitbodedut is the forest. So the forest is like the second best. It's the alternative to the sea. Okay, this like the forest is the sea, the seaiest thing that you can get on dry land. Okay,
What?
it's the sea.
Or
No, it's the seaiest.
yeah, I like that.
The sea is.
Yeah.
But Yochai, he was in cave, no?
Right?
But he chose forest, he chose cave.
Yeah, it's a similar idea. It's a similar idea. I think Rabbi Nachman loved. I'm sure there's I'm sure there's something to be said for like why this a cave, and also he was hiding for the Romans, but
No,
but
the cave has a different effect.
yeah, it is different. But Rabbi Nachman said that in the forest you find nature. You find that you can get in touch with the energy of the trees, the energy of the flowers, of
Creation.
the what?
Of creation.
Of creation, yeah. So it's through this. The forest is the place that he was able to get the closest he can get to the yam in the dry land. Okay, meaning that like it's some hybrid between like it's less when you're in the forest. You're not as grounded as you are when you're in civilization, but you're not as floating as you are as when you are in the sea. It's somewhere in the middle. Okay, so if I have to live on land because I got seasick, so at least I'll live in the forest.
Did you ever find a small lake in the forest?
Say
Did you ever find a small lake in the forest?
a lake in the forest.
Yes.
Okay, that's. I hope so. All right. So. Okay. So. Okay, let's just read a little bit in the paragraph just as a introduction for next week. So the emperor's daughter, she took off the ring and gave it to him. She took off the ring and gave it to him, and she went to sleep there. When the king saw her stirring, he laid the ring next to her. Afterwards, he rose and returned to the ship. And meanwhile, the emperor's daughter remembered that they had forgotten the ring there. Okay, she went to sleep. She went to sleep, and before she went to sleep, she took off the ring. She took off the ring, and she put it next to next to her husband, fiance, and this is horrible. This is tragic. She was taking off her ring. She was saying, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be your wife. Maybe I need a little bit of space. And so she went to sleep. Right? Rabbi Nachman, we remember from the story of the lost princess that sleeping is the worst thing. Sleeping is the worst thing that a person could possibly do in this world. That to be asleep means to not be conscious. To be asleep means to not be living life. To be asleep means that you're just sleep living, sleepwalking, sleep dating, sleep schooling, sleep parenting, sleep. You're just the people just they sleep through life, and they're not there. They're not dead, but they're not really alive. That's like just these zombies. They're just like sleepwalking through everything, and and so because she enters the state of sleep, so she realizes that I can't. This is too much for me to be Torah. I need to put the ring down, and this represents what we talked about before. This is the Shvirat HaLuchot, the breaking of the luchos, that this disconnect, and we're going to see that for the rest of the story, she's never going to get the ring back. She's gonna marry him. She's gonna find him, but it's going to be a much longer and more treacherous, more difficult journey to find him again, to find the Torah again. And this is the secret of the second luchot. That the first luchot were easy. The first luchot is that we were in cheder together, and to give her a ring, and there's the residue, and awesome, and it didn't work. It didn't work, and and just when we got to shore, so we need a little bit of space, and then, but I still know that this is the love of my life. I still know that this is, but I have to get there myself. Okay, and that's what the rest of the story is going to be, B'ezrat Hashem. So stay tuned, and l'chaim.